Okay, so this is our second try because I messed up the first recording. And so, Gary, thank you once again for agreeing to this interview. And the reason why I approached you in the first place is because because of your remarkable comments in our Ozone group on Facebook. And you basically said that you were diagnosed with MS and that ozone therapy has greatly helped you with your multiple sclerosis symptoms. So that's why I would like to talk about. That's what I would like to talk about in this video. So let's start at the beginning. When were you diagnosed? How were you diagnosed? And what were your symptoms?
Yes, I was basically diagnosed about 5 years ago. My first symptoms were drop foot. I had extreme drop foot on my left side. I had extreme nerve pain on my left side. I had barely any feeling at all. Tons of numbness in my fingers and my toes. And that's basically how it was found. It took me about a year and a half of going back and forth to doctors to finally be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Once I went straight to the Mellon Center, which is strictly for neurological issues. They prescribed me a medication. I was on that for a while, about 8 to 10 months, right around there. And that caused, after those few months, it caused every single side effect that could possibly happen from that medication. I was lucky to receive. And then after that is when I decided to go natural.
Okay. Well, hold on. So you said that when the first medication didn't work out, that you first switched to another medication, right? And so
I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I switched off from Copaxone the first time. I went back to my doctors. They didn't believe that it was anything to do with MS, with the medication. They thought it was just the MS itself. So reluctantly, I did. I still said okay to them when they wanted me to go on a different medication, which was Plegridy. I asked if there was any natural way I can do it, and they said absolutely not. They said if you don't take medication, you'll be in a wheelchair, you'll be disabled the rest of your life, and you'll be dead within 5 years, is what they told me. Those were their exact words.
They told you you would be dead in 5 years.
That's exactly what they told me, yeah.
First, you would end up in a wheelchair, and then you would be dead in 5 years. And that was more or less 5 years ago.
Yes.
So I guess somebody was wrong, huh?
Exactly. Thank God.
All right. So you saw, okay, those drugs, they're not really working out. They're making me feel really sick, right? And
Yes.
so then you somehow came across ozone therapy, right?
Yes. The way I did was, it was kind of a funny story. I was going to a chiropractor because of the pain I was having, and just becoming friends with him, and just through small talk of what we would talk about on a daily, he said that his father was doing stem cells, and that interested me and my wife both. And we kind of just got his father's name off of him. And the next couple days or a couple weeks after that, we contacted his father to make an appointment to do a one-on-one interview with him to see if I was a candidate. And as I was a candidate, his father mentioned to me that he doesn't do stem cell anymore, but he does this thing called ozone therapy, H3O. And he said it's a lot cheaper, and he said it's also a lot more effective with a lot more people. Gave me a lot of different information, like on what it would do, what it could do. And I was sold. I said, sign me up. And then the next thing I was doing with him was called the 10 Pass, which is the 10-week treatment, twice a week for 10 weeks. And that brought me to the point that I'm right here today.
So, okay, so you described it, you said so that he was basically taking out blood, like around a cup of blood, into a bag. Then he was mixing it with ozone in that bag, and then it was basically then it was irradiated with UV lights, right? And then it was reinfused back into you, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. That's exactly what they do. Mhm.
So you were doing this twice a week, yes?
Yes, yes.
And you were also getting some vitamins, you said?
Yes, they do the drip, the vitamin drips. They're called they weren't called. They're with B12, D, C, all your main vitamins that your body would need. And they would do the drip after they would do the ozone, so that would go straight in with all the the rebuilt mitochondria and your blood cells, your brand new blood cells are getting rebuilt throughout the ozone process.
Okay, and so what started happening? What did you experience during that time?
It was absolutely incredible. After about the second week, and I started just getting back a lot of things, so many things that I didn't think I'd ever get back. I just put it in the back of my head like this was just me now. I wasn't going to be able to talk anymore. I wasn't going to be able to talk straight. I wasn't going to be able to think straight. I wouldn't be able to go out in the heat anymore because I had all of those issues. I had sensory issues that were incredible. Like I couldn't hear a pin drop without it hurting my head because it just was sounding so loud to me. Light sensitivity was just, I had to be in pure darkness. All those things I just mentioned were all gone within 2 weeks. I was able to go back out in the sunshine. I was actually able to be happy again. I wasn't happy for 5 years. I thought I was, but I forgot what it actually was. I know it sounds funny, but I seriously didn't think I had no emotions left until I started doing the ozone. It started just bringing back all these good things in my life, the feelings and just the ability to do things just made me feel so good and so upbeat again. So that was the cool part. And then after about 5 weeks, it got better. I lost tons more symptoms I can't remember anymore. The numbness in my foot was gone. The numbness on my left side was gone. My drop foot was gone. And it just kept getting better and better. I literally was crying to my wife the one day saying, I cannot believe that I am getting a second chance at life. I accepted that as who I was, when I was that sick. And I thanked God every day that I was alive. Of course, I didn't want to be that way. And then all of a sudden, this miracle of this doctor and his knowledge of the power of ozone came around, and it gave me back a total second chance of life.
But you mentioned also that you also changed your diet, right? So it was basically like vegetables, fruits, and meat. So basically a type of like a paleo, what Terry Wahls also suggests, that type of diet, right?
Yes, that's basically what I do. It's fruits, vegetables, mostly raw, and then with the meats I go with all organic, just only organic. If I eat anything else, I make sure that it's 3 ingredients or less, which means no GMOs, no pesticides, no anything you can't pronounce is not good for you, so don't put it in your body, basically. So I try to stay away from that stuff as well, and then just eat.
Right. So you're eating as clean as possible, and so do you think that this also played a role in your recovery?
I think it's a huge role in my recovery, and I think it should be a huge role in life itself. Could it cause diseases? I believe it absolutely could. We're just brainwashed, I believe, by commercials and everything, saying that these fast foods and these processed foods are okay for us, when in reality, they're not. They're nothing but just fillers in our bodies.
There's nothing natural about, eating cake that is full of sugar and full of preservatives and so some chemical additives. and expect that there would be no repercussions because of that, right?
Yes.
All right, so so you basically ended this 10-week course, and so to repeat, so during those 10 weeks you had those ozone UV irrigation treatments twice a week, and then
Yes.
once a week you had a drip with the minerals and vitamins, yes?
Mhm.
And
Yes.
you did that for 10 weeks, and that was around a year ago, yes? So that's
Right.
was done.
Mhm.
Okay, and after those 10 weeks, how much better were you? Like, why? How would you describe it? Were you 70% better, 80% better?
I was 90% better for sure. I lost so many of those old symptoms that I once had. I regained so much that I had lost, and I regained so much that I still had, but it heightened it better. It just made things better that I didn't know were bad. I mean, that sounds funny, but it's totally true. Yeah, it just really helped in
Right.
general all around. Yeah.
So you only realized that you even had those issues once they were gone.
Exactly. Yes. Hmm.
Okay, so and after that, you kept up with the regular ozone treatments at the doctor, yes, like as an upkeep, and additionally to that, you also bought your own ozone machine and were continuing the treatments at home, correct?
Yes. Yes. I still go once weekly just for maintenance. I don't believe that I necessarily need it, but it does it helps helps me stay stable of where I am because I don't want to ever go backwards. I never want to go back to where I used to be. Um, I take that back. Not that it doesn't help me. It helps. It's just helping slower now because it helped so much in the beginning parts of its day. Now with the ozone at home, I drink the ozone water, and as soon as I drink it, I mean, I just feel uplifted. I feel good. I feel my blood running through my body. Like it's needed. It's like part of that gasoline for your engine or your body. And it just does wonders for me. It feels great. It feels great on my gums when I drink it. It's just fantastic.
So the ozone generator that you have at home, this is like a simple air-fed generator. It's not even the more advanced oxygen-fed, right? It's just a simple air-fed
Correct.
machine. Uh-huh.
Yeah, correct. It's just the cheap one, the down the middle of the road one, I guess you'd say. I bought it off of eBay, and ever since I bought it, I mean, I've been running that thing like crazy. It runs good. It works good. I do 15 minutes per glass of 6-ounce water with the straight ozone hose, and I have done it rectally a few times, and it works great either way.
Mm-hmm. Well, you say with a straight hose, you mean you don't even have that stone at the end of the hose?
I'm sorry, I do have this one at the end of the hose. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I was just curious. I don't think it's really that important, but I was just
Yeah, I
curious.
wasn't sure about it either.
All right, cool. So is there anything else we forgot to cover that you would like to add?
Another thing I would like to add is, we're going to slip up no matter how hard we try with things. As long as we stay true to ourselves, and if we fall backwards a little bit on the eating parts, just get back onto it as soon as you can. I take tons of supplements, and I think supplements are very important for our body because sometimes our body may not absorb things. My body wasn't absorbing B12, and I learned from my doctor that taking magnesium would help absorb the B12. So I started taking the magnesium. It helped me absorb the B12, and as well helped with my pain management on my legs because my legs still hurt at times. So that helps on two things. I believe the mitochondrial supplement that I take also helps rebuild your mitochondrial, the good and bad mitochondrial that you have. If you have damaged mitochondrial, it helps rebuild it. If you have good mitochondrial, it just gives it extra muscles. It's kind of like steroids for it, along with the adrenal strength, which gives you more energy, helps with pain, and helps with your whole system again.
So how much has the pain reduced? Because you said that at the beginning it was really bad, that basically it was from your head down to your feet, but now it's much, much less, right?
It's much, much less. It used to be about, I'd say 120%, 24 hours a day, top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I could feel it in my hair even. That's how bad it hurt. Now, ever since the ozone treatments, the 10 pass, it's in my legs and my feet only. And it's maybe I'd say a 30 to 40%, maybe more like a 30, and probably instead of 24 hours a day, I'd say about 6 hours a day.
And you said that, okay, when you slip up with a diet every now and then, don't beat yourself up for it, just try to get back on track. So do you feel the repercussions immediately when you eat something that you know is not good for you? Do you feel immediately worse afterwards?
Instantly, yes, instantly. It's really crazy. It's once you teach your body, or once you teach yourself what your body really needs, and then you put in, something that's not good for it, that you're allergic to, that you never realized you're allergic to, because you built up a tolerance for it through all these years, and now you're reintroducing that to your body again. Yeah, I mean, I literally would have a headache that I could not describe to you. I couldn't move. That's how bad this headache was. I couldn't stand up. I thought I was going to throw up. Just, the nausea, the spinning, the vertigo. And it wouldn't just happen for an hour or two. It literally knocked me down for like 2 days just from having a piece of chocolate cake one day.
Wow.
Yeah, that refined sugar, or barley, or hops, or dairy, gluten, soy, all that stuff. It's meant for us, but it's very easy to be allergic to.
Right. Yeah, I think all those foods basically just increase inflammation or keep the inflammation up, and it's probably that's what's so bad about it. So
Yes.
as long as you keep it really clean, veggies, fruit, and meat, then your symptoms are at 90%, and together with your daily ozonated water that you drink in the morning, right? And you can keep it at a 90% improvement.
Yes, absolutely. I can actually, before the ozone treatment, I was literally sitting on my couch in the dark, no sound around me. I couldn't have any sound whatsoever. And that was my day, all day long, all night long. It hurt my wife to even just brush my arm with her hand in a loving way. That even hurt. And now I luckily can, hold my wife's hand again. I can luckily walk outside without the weather affecting me. I can listen to the birds chirp without them feeling like they're inside my head pecking away at my brain. It's just all that craziness is gone. And it's just fantastic. It's an absolute second chance of life. Again, I know I said that, but it's true. Thanks to the doctor, his knowledge of the ozone, and his will to bring it to our knowledge, to people who need it, to our knowledge. Because a lot of people will say no to it or not believe in it. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people who do need it aren't getting the information because it's kind of on a down low, or, people don't talk about it.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that basically you have proven your doctors completely wrong. I mean, you're not in a wheelchair, and you're certainly not dead, as far as I can tell, right? So,
Yes, I think so.
and all that without taking the medication that they said you absolutely have to, otherwise your life will be ruined.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, I think this is also interesting to note that doctors, they don't always know everything. They're often wrong. Yep. So yeah. Okay. One thing that I wanted to mention. So I just wanted to clarify the meaning of the TANPAS, because basically what you got is not really the TANPAS, because the TANPAS, that is a very specific treatment. There's like a hyperbaric treatment, and that is much more intense. What you got, this sounds like a major also chemotherapy together with UV light irradiation. And
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify this, because nowadays, people think that the only ozone treatment that is of any use, that's the TANPAS. There's a lot of hype around that. Like everyone needs to get the TANPAS. It has to be in the TANPAS. If you're not getting the TANPAS, it doesn't make any sense, right? And you actually you got the standards. I call it standard. That is much. So what you got, it's the ozone dosage is much less than during a TANPAS. And what you got, what you have received, that had been done for decades before the TANPAS was invented, and and we can see how beautifully it worked with you. So
It really did, yes. Yeah, I take that back. I'm sorry for that. I always thought that was called the 10 pass because it was 10 weeks, 10 pass. That's kind of what I thought it was. But
yeah, no,
okay.
but I think this is really inspiring to hear this, because as I said, there's this hype in the ozone community right now that like it has to be the 10 pass, and that the regular treatments are useless, and this is not true, as we can see in your case. And the 10 pass is like, it can be 10 times as expensive as what you got. I don't know how much you paid for treatment, but the 10 passes are extremely expensive. And this is also what I like to tell people. You don't have to ruin yourself. You don't have to go bankrupt to get really great ozone treatments.
Correct.
So yeah, so this is great. Yeah, I hope some people who are in a similar situation like you will listen to this and will take this to heart and give it a try.
Well, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to tell my story. And I'm with you. I really hope a lot of people who need help listen to this story and see that it can be done, now that I've just learned from you, a lot cheaper than they thought before. And yes, I will 100% back up the story of the way I did my ozone H3O. It worked, and I would definitely suggest doing it and giving it a try because it has given me back my life.